I'm Kronicz from the most extreme wrestling, and this is your John Morrison weekly update. Unfortunately, Crystal could not make it this week, but we do have her 3 varying sizes of action figures hanging out behind me. Now, Z True Long Island story. Once again this week, Morrison was brought up because you see, you had Zach's dad. He got ran over by the car. Then he became a mofo because he forgot that Morrison had died in a fiery car explosion. So they re-showed him the footage on this week's episode, and now I guess he realized that Morrison is actually dead as he screams, "No!" So we don't know if there's going to be some kind of murder mystery into what happened. I mean, I guess we got to wait until it comes out Friday, I believe, on WWE Fan Nation now. So where is that going? I don't know. It's all up to Zack Ryder, right? Okay, yet another Trish Stratus interview where she's talking about the snub incident. Okay, I don't want to talk again about who did what or why it happened or who got mad and who shouldn't have got mad and all this. I'm not going to talk about that because I've talked about it several times and really, it's really irrelevant. The fact is that it looks like it actually happened, okay? It's been brought up, everyone's talked about it. Now, and I always hear fans talk about, well, he snubbed Trish Stratus. Well, send him out of here. I don't want to see that guy anymore. I'm done with John Morrison. He snubbed Trish Stratus. Well, that's just going too far. And I think that that's completely asinine. You know why? Because, I think back. Think about Shawn Michaels. This guy is the most respected guy in the entire business. He's considered one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time, and in my book, he is the greatest professional wrestler of all time, and he's actually my all-time favorite of all time. Sorry, John Morrison, but he is. And, when you look at a guy like Shawn Michaels, and he's so revered, and people love him so much, but it's like, okay, well, you're going to throw John Morrison under the bus for one incident. I can think of 10, 20, 100 things that Shawn Michaels did throughout his career that was not good for business, was disrespectful, mean, rude, throwing people under the bus, all types of things. I think about 2005 when he was facing Hulk Hogan, and he made Hulk Hogan look like a fool when he oversold in the match. If you haven't seen Hulk Hogan versus Shawn Michaels, look it up. It is unbelievably hilarious, but at the same time it's wrong. Sure, I don't think Hulk Hogan should have been pushing himself as a face in 2005. Sure, everybody wanted to see him in 2002 when he had the resurgence and won the Undisputed Championship and everything, but this 2005, it was done and over with. But the fact is, they wanted to solve these issues. They should have done it before the match. The fact is, they did it during the match. Shawn Michaels did, and that's not good. That's not professionalism. And Shawn Michaels has done plenty of things over his career that is not respectable, you know what I mean? And of course I respect the guy, but he's done plenty of things that aren't exactly good, you know what I'm saying? And of course he's done plenty of awesome things, but the point is, done a lot more things than one incident. One incident! Golly, I want to compare Shawn Michaels and John Morrison just a little bit, because a lot of people make these comparisons, and usually when they make these comparisons, they're like, well, Morrison, he's nowhere like Shawn Michaels. Oh, it's no comparison. But let's compare, since so many people bring this up all the time. I'm going to compare. 1984, Shawn Michaels makes his singles run. He's on TV. He's doing matches all the time. 1984. 2004, John Morrison is doing Eminem and SmackDown, and he's on television all the time. He's doing his run. Sure, he had a match on Raw in 2002 against Matt Capitelli, but that was one match. He had 1 or 2 matches on Velocity. But after he was out of OVW and all the training was complete, 2004, that's the starting point. So that's what I'm going to compare from. So you got it, 1984, 2004. All right, let's look at Shawn Michaels. By 1994, which was 10 years later, he was doing the Heartbreak Hotel. He was working on his mic skills. He had already had, the ladder match with Razor Ramon, which was awesome. He had an awesome match, a very great match for the Intercontinental Championship. 10 years after he began Intercontinental Championship. Now, I would argue that Shawn Michaels was not the greatest on the microphone, especially in 1994. Some of those Heartbreak Hotel segments were unwatchable. Sure, some of them were funny, some of them were entertaining, but there was quite a few of them that were just oh my gosh, seriously? Because you see, John Morrison is always compared as to a guy who cannot cut it on the microphone, which I think is also asinine. He's done plenty of good things, and sure, he's done plenty of bad things, but we're comparing here, right? So, it wasn't for Shawn Michaels until 1996 until he won the WWE Championship. Well, you look at John Morrison from 2004, well, you go to, that's 12 years with Shawn Michaels, 1984 to 1996. Well, with John Morrison, 2004 to 2016 hasn't happened yet. John Morrison has not held a World Heavyweight title. I'm not counting ECW because in my mind that doesn't count. It doesn't count anymore anyways in WWE's eyes. So, he hasn't held the belt. And that hasn't even happened yet. So, like 2004 to 2014, I'm sorry if I'm confusing you, but look, 10 years since the beginning. 2004 to 2014, 10 years. And that hasn't even happened yet. 10 years into Shawn Michaels' career, he was just doing the ladder match with Razor Ramon. His career wasn't anywhere near to over. So when people look at John Morrison's career and compare it to Shawn Michaels, you gotta realize that Shawn Michaels' book is done, son. It has been written. It is in the bookstores. It's on the DVDs. The beginning and the end. It's over. Nothing else can happen. All the awesome stuff, it's done and over with. John Morrison, on the other hand, the book is not finished. He may not be in WWE at this present moment, but that doesn't mean his entire career is over. It doesn't mean that it's done and over with. See, he's got plenty, so many years left, and it's not over. Anyways, let's move on. Now, I just saw that Funny or Die, dude on there, what's his name? It's hard to read because my text is in black, and then the background is in gray. I don't know why, but it is. This guy, Jensen Karp, he's doing something with John Morrison on the Funny or Die thing. So that's awesome. I haven't seen the video yet, but I hope to see it very soon. Oh, by the way, I'm going to put the link to this video. It was Shawn Michaels talking about John Morrison needs street cred. Talk about street cred. The dude is busting his chops on what I guess you could call the indie scene. Wrestling across the world. He wrestled in the Philippines. He's going to be in America. And he's going to Scotland, England in December. Busting your chops, you know what I'm saying? Getting street cred. Also, working on his mic skills and honing all that stuff by doing these comedy sketches, improv sketches. Really going the distance, trying to better himself in every single way possible. And I think that that's great.